So what is a growth mindset exactly? And why is it a powerful tool that we can be using for ourselves every single day? Why is it a belief system that we need to integrate into our lives in order for us to achieve what we want, to manifest our dreams and our desires? Let's get into it. Believe in yourself. You are braver than you think, more talented than you know, and capable of more than you can imagine. This is a quote by an author called Roy T. Bennett. He wrote a book called The Light in the Heart. Now, this phrase in itself for me really beautifully encapsulates having a growth mindset. It means that by having a fantastic belief system in who you are as an individual and what you can achieve, you can go further, you can build more, you can become even greater than what you had even imagined of yourself. And what it pertains to is learning, growing, and becoming. Like a tree when it was a sapling, and it grew into a very young tree and then blossomed even further into a huge grandfather tree. We go through seasons in life and we keep adding to ourselves, we keep growing within ourselves, and we keep becoming more and more. The things that I was doing 3 years ago are not the same as the things that I do today. And what about yourselves? What have you done to change and grow and improve yourselves over the last 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? When you look back, can you see the expansion within yourself? Can you see the growth? Can you see the room? Can you see what you've developed? Because when you do that, you can see what kind of mindset you tend to have or tend to lean into. The growth mindset individual is somebody who realizes that they can keep learning, that there's a lot that they don't know. It humbles a person having a growth mindset. It means that, yeah, you know what you think you know, but you also acknowledge that there's so much more that you don't know. And you open yourself up and are receptive to the myriad of different types of information that you can receive in order for you to become even greater than you are now. It means that you recognize that sometimes a setback is a set up for something greater. And it also means that you are open to positive, constructive criticism. Even sometimes, though it may sometimes be difficult for your ego to receive it, but once you have processed the information, you then use it for your own ends. You use it for good. You use it to empower yourself and inspire yourself and push you further so that you can be even more successful and develop even further than you have now. These are the aspects and characteristics of somebody who operates within and has a growth mindset, somebody who recognizes that education is a continual process. When you were born, you had an academic career. You were born and you learnt how to crawl, walk, talk. This was all part of your academic learning. And the process doesn't stop just because you've hit 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. This is a continual process. It just so happens that when you get into adulthood, you now get to choose and consciously decide for yourself what you're going to learn and what you're not going to learn. Having a growth mindset means that you are open to learning, growing and becoming, and that you know that you can do more when you keep practicing, you keep pushing, and you keep that consistent effort. The growth mindset isn't actually something new. I want to bring your attention to a passage in the Bible, Romans 12:2, where it says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." So this is a passage taken from the Bible, and I was fascinated when it came to me because I was in prayer, I was in contemplation, and the phrase came to me. And when it came, I saw many things in my mind, and then I saw the link between the renewing of your mind and the growth mindset. So what does it mean to not be conformed? It means not to be the same. It means not to be identical to. It means not to take on the customs and even the traditions of what you see around you. It means not to necessarily be compliant to those things. It means to push against the status quo. Do not be conformed. And in this Context, we're talking about with your mind and your thoughts and your attitudes. Be not conformed to those things, but be ye transformed. When you transform, it means that you carry something across, you carry across from one form to another, which means that you are in a state of flux. You understand that you can morph into something else. That means you can morph your ideas, you can morph your belief systems, you can add to them. Now, the Bible passage goes even further by telling us how we can not be conformed but be transformed. It tells us by the renewing of your mind, by continually renewing your mind. When you have a subscription to a channel or to anything out there when it comes media related, a magazine that comes to your house, let's say, all the time, you pay for this subscription and it keeps bringing you information. That's what it keeps doing. When you watch something that you've subscribed to, it keeps bringing you information. So this tells us, even in the Bible itself, how we can continue to renew our minds, which is so akin to the growth mindset, by educating ourselves, by learning, by being receptive, by opening ourselves up to new ideas, new concepts, new paradigms, new ways of thinking, so that we can be expansive and grow. So I've outlined 3 simple things that you can do in order for you to engage and practice, build, grow your growth mindset on a daily basis. Number 1, have fresh ideas and perspectives. So even if you've been looking at or researching or learning about the same subject for the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is, you can keep adding and learning and growing that when you approach the subject from a different perspective. So if you're constantly standing on the north side, you're only going to see what the north side can show you. Once you've learned everything on the north side, it's time to take it south side. So it's time to look at it from a different perspective and then take it to the east and then take it to the west and then everything in between. So even though you're looking at the same subject, because you are standing in different areas when you're looking at it, you're going to be able to expand what you're looking at. You're going to be able to process differences that you wouldn't have seen if you stayed on the north side. By doing so, you gain a different perspective and then you generate bigger, better, and fuller ideas. This is one of the ways that you can enhance and implement a growth mindset on a daily basis. Keep looking at things from a different perspective. Number 2, maintain mental flexibility. Keep challenging what you think you know by asking questions. They say no question is a stupid question. I fully and 100% believe in that. Do you? No question is a stupid question, so keep asking questions. Keep pushing against what you think you know. Ask yourself questions in different ways. One of the things that's going to come of when you ask yourself questions is you're going to be able to see the holes in your own perspective, in your own viewpoint, in your own belief system. You're going to be able to see the holes in a subject that you're learning. And then, because you can see the holes, you can then go about plugging the holes, because now you are highlighting them. So keep asking questions and be open and receptive to what you're going to get back. 3, recommit to your academic life career. What do I mean by that? I mean that when we were children, we were thrust into this life and we were learning and being educated, but we didn't actually realize that that's what was happening. This was all a subconscious process. Now, as adult people, it's now conscious. Now we know what's happening to us. So we can now decide what it is that we want to learn and what we want to discard. So we have to keep recommitting to the process. We can't just tap out. We have to get back involved. We've got to get back in the game so that we can actually be in a standpoint of empowerment where we realize that life is happening through us and not to us. So keep committing yourself to this process. This is part of being a dynamic human being, and being dynamic is a part of the growth mindset. So remember what it says in the Bible. Again, I bring us back to that quote about being not conformed. You don't need to keep your thoughts and ideas exactly as they always have been. We are transformed by carrying across and renewing those things all the time. And by doing that, we grow ourselves, we become, we open ourselves up, we extend. How can we become more if we don't become more? Allow yourself to keep growing and becoming. If somebody tells you something that you don't necessarily like, if it's a criticism, look into it. Step out of your subjective mood and step into your objective mindset and look at it for what it is. And try and pick the sense out of what they've said to see what you can actually implement into your life. This is sometimes the way that we have to do things. We can become so fixed in our lives at points in time that we don't see what's going on around us. So if somebody else sees it and tells you, be open to what they're saying to you. Be receptive. Take what resonates with you, have a good look at it, be self-reflective, and leave what doesn't. But continue on this game, this process, this continual learning, because we're in the system anyway. Life isn't going to stop lifing just because you've tapped out. Get involved in your own life. I know quite a few people right now that are going through the retirement process where this is like a whole new world when you're retiring. Whether you've been working for yourself or whether you've been working for somebody else is irrelevant. The point is that your schedule, your structure, and everything that you've been doing for the past 20, 30 years, even 40 years is changing. And now you're having to reimagine what that life's going to look like. It can be the same as if when a partner leaves that you've been with for a long time and then they leave and you have to reimagine what your life's going to look like. When you recommit yourself to the academic life journey, you're open to learning, you're open to growing, you're open to becoming more, to growing from that seed to that sapling to that young tree to that grandfather oak tree. So get involved in your own journey. Open yourself up. We're constantly going through life, death, and resurrection. The seasons are constantly changing. This is what life is about. So get involved and be not conformed to last year's ways of being, but be transformed by carrying across and becoming a different form by the renewing of your mind, because you keep educating yourself, because you keep opening yourself up to possibilities, because you keep asking the questions, and you're flexible. Grow your growth mindset. You will never look back. That will never be something that you've spent your time on and wasted. It's never going to be a waste. And keep seeing the silver linings in everything that you're doing, no matter what's happening to you. See that you are becoming more resilient. See that your persistence is paying off. Know that by doing that, you are literally growing your brain and growing how you do things and becoming more. You're being more and becoming more. So how can a growth mindset assist us in our manifestation process? Well, think about it. Whenever you want to manifest something, it means that you want to take it from the thought form and put it into the physical form. It means that you want it to now be expressed before you physically so you can touch it, feel it up, right? So if that's a relationship that you want, it's the love that you want from the relationship, it's that companionship, that understanding, that offering, that sharing of life. If you want to take it from the thought process and into the manifested process in front of you, having a growth mindset can assist you because it opens you up to educating yourself more on manifestational processes, on the different techniques that you can include into your daily routine. It keeps you open because all of the information that you're getting through what you think is failure or what you think is rejection is actually redirection. It's actually information. Having a growth mindset means that you will be able to persist in what you want to manifest. It means that you're not going to take it as, oh my gosh, this is a complete setback. This is a huge obstacle. I'm never going to get over it. No, it means that you are open. You can then see this as a challenge and say to yourself, okay, this didn't work, but let me try a different process. Let me see what I can learn. Let me look at myself and reflect to see, am I one with what I want to manifest, or am I not? And how can I become one so that it can be made manifest in front of me? If you want to manifest a business and you want it to be super successful, having a growth mindset means that you will learn the different skills that you need. It means that you are open to other people's suggestions and ideas. It means that you're going to be persistent and consistent because you understand that you can keep growing. It's not anything to do with if I was supposed to have it, I would have it. No. It means that you know that you are an abundant individual, you are an abundant being, and you are made for success like anybody else is on the level that you have chosen for yourself. So by having the growth mindset, we put ourselves in a continual learning process, which will assist us in achieving what we want to manifest. And also having a growth mindset means that we are flexible enough to go with the flow of life, to move with it. So even if it has transformed into something different to our original idea, but it has brought the outcome that we wanted, we can see that that has been for our own good. So these are a few of my tips for how you can engage in a growth mindset attitude. These are the practices that you can get involved in all of the time, every single day, in order for it to become natural for you. I trust that this has helped somebody, one of you, more of you, many. I don't know. For those of you that have found value in the video, like, share, subscribe, and do all of that wonderful, fantastical stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video.